All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We've got ourselves a final injury report, game status report for the Seahawks versus Bills this weekend. And we don't have the practice report yet. That's probably going to come out in a couple of hours. But the game status is what we really care about, right? Maybe we can derive one or two extra points of data from the practice report. Maybe I'll talk about that a little bit later. But for now, let's just take a look at the game statuses the Seahawks have given us. Got this from Condota. Saw it on several other accounts as well, though, so it's not like he made it up. It comes from a lot of different people. Let's take a look here. So again, no practice report yet. So just looking at the game statuses, we've got mixed results. I'll put it to you that way. Abe Lucas is out, which was totally expected, so that's not really anything. So that's the only player who's listed as out. I'm definitely going to chalk that up to great news. If you expected Abe Lucas to play this week, you were, that was a little much. That's a little unreasonable. So Abe Lucas is out with a knee injury. We do, however, have two players who are doubtful, and in my experience, players that are listed as doubtful, I mean, they say it's like 25% that you're going to play if you're doubtful, but in my experience, it's a little bit lower than that. So DK Metcalf is doubtful with the knee, which is the big one. That's one that will be really hard to survive. That's one that will be really hard to overcome. Like, I can't put a happy face on that. And then Cameron Young is also doubtful, and that one, not so concerned about that. We've got plenty of options on the defensive line right now. We've got a lot of guys back. We've got Jaron Reed. We've got Byron Murphy. We've got Jonathan Hankins. Those guys can all play some nose. Cameron Young did not really have a place in this rotation beyond 2 or 3 snaps a game, honestly. So that one, okay. But I cannot put a happy face on DK Metcalf missing this game. He's the one guy on this offense that pushes you down the field. Lockett can't do that anymore. JSN can't do that. Noah Fant, in theory, he can do it. But the thing is, you've got a very limited window of time to get down the field in this offense because of the way the offensive line is playing. So a guy like Metcalf, his speed opens up so much for you. And there's nobody else on this team that can open things up like that. So not great there. And we also have a bevy of questionable players. Trey Brown is questionable, so he presumably got to practice some today. I don't think there's any way he'd be questionable if he missed all 3 practices this week. So probably Trey Brown practiced today. Got a decent chance of being able to play, so that's definitely good news. I know people are hard on Trey Brown right now. They're not liking what they see with him, but I'm going to continue to stand on the belief that Trey Brown... Excuse me. Woo. Yeah. Trey Brown's a good player who's just had a bad game, maybe a couple bad games, and I want to see how he finishes this season. Mike Morris, questionable with the ankle injury. He's another guy who doesn't really have much of a place in the rotation right now because we have so much other stuff going on the defensive line. And he honestly just seems like a player this coaching staff doesn't like that much. I don't think they make the Roy Robertson-Harris trade if they like what Mike Morris is doing. So I don't know how important that is, if he can play or not play, but he's got a chance. Nehemiah Pritchett, also questionable, and I don't want to discount the value of that. I think Nehemiah Pritchett is somebody who could see the field because we have injuries with some other players. Like if Trey Brown can't go, you'd want Nehemiah Pritchett to at least be able to go because you don't have Artie Burns. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and chalk that up to good news that he was able to get back into the questionable column this week. And good news here, George Fant made it to questionable status, so he's got a real chance of being able to play this week. And if he doesn't play this week, he will probably be back for the Rams game. It'd be kind of weird if he got held out after being listed as questionable for another 2 games. And that's also the upshot with the Metcalf news, right? The fact that he made it to doubtful to where he still has a chance of playing on Sunday tells you that he'll almost certainly be ready for the next game after that. All right, so that's it for the Seahawks side of things. Notable, No designation for Woolen, which means he is playing, and there's nothing to question there, and he's totally fine. Also, no designation for Ken Walker, so he's totally fine. He's playing. Nothing for Mafe or Leonard Williams or Julian Love. And I guess Jarek Reed's good to go as well, right? Because he's not listed here either. So, hey, it's not bad. It's not all bad. It's just the one bit of really bad news we got. I mean, that stinks. That stinks, and that's going to be really difficult for this team to overcome. Point blank, period. Over to the Bills side of things, going over to their PR account on X here, you can see that they've actually got more problems than I would have expected based on the report yesterday. They are going to be missing some stuff, and it's no small thing, right? Like, this is a team that has already lost a lot defensively over the last couple years. They don't need to be losing more stuff on the defense. Terrell Bernard, their starting linebacker, somebody that they've leaned on heavily to help replace Matt Milano and Dodson, while we're at it, Tyrell Dodson, out, will not play. Dwayne Carter, not a huge piece on that defensive line, but a piece, somebody who did play. He needs wrist surgery. He's out after being limited all week in practice, so I don't know, maybe something happened today. So that's a decent chunk of their front seven. Now, they've still got good players up there. They've still got, Greg Rousseau. They've still got, Daquan Jones is going to play. It's not everything for them up front, but they don't need to be testing their defensive depth even more, right? Like, at some point, it's going to crack. Sean McDermott's great, but he's not a magician. If they keep losing talent up front, eventually it will show up negatively. Terrell Bernard, big reason why they're good against the run. Without him out there, you should be able to run on them a little bit. Dwayne Carter, he was playing a decent amount for them. Without him, I mean, that's a ding. That's a significant ding. We also have Curtis Samuel being out, but it should be said that he doesn't play a ton anymore because they got Amari Cooper. I don't think that's a big loss. And then you got Darrington Evans, doubtful, but again, he wasn't playing, and he doesn't have a serious role in that offense. He's probably a special teamer at best. But Bernard and Carter, that's those two pieces combined, that could spell the difference. I'm not ruling it out. So, yeah, Josh Allen, good to go, of course. He was full all week. Hamlin, Hollins, Teron Johnson, all those guys ready to rock. Daquan Jones, notable here, limited today. He is going to play, but it does seem like there's a little, I don't know what you would call it, load management going on with him. Kincaid, good to go. Knox, good to go. Quentin Morris, good to go. Dwayne Smoot, Mitchell Trubisky, Dorian Williams, all look good. So, that's the injury report right now, guys. So, let me know what you guys think. I know it's not great. I know we don't love life right now, but there's some good stuff baked in here. We just need to survive a week without Metcalf, and there's a good sign that he'll be back for the Rams game. All right, go Hawks. See you guys later.